Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to get the 1973 CT3 Yamaha Enduro. Going to get it out and clean it up a little bit, and we're going to give it a once over, see what all it's going to need, and see if it's got spark, see if it will pick up the gas, and see if we can get it running. And we'll see where it takes us from there. So let's get to it. A little cleanup for the 73 today, and we'll get it up on the rack and see what we think it's going to need. Probably going to need a lot more cleaning than what this is going to do for it. Well, we'll get a start on it anyhow. Okay, I think the first thing we need to do, I noticed that all these cables and control wires are all, they're sticking out from where they should be. They should all be under the tank. So we need to get the tank off and get those placed right so that we can try to start it. And we'll get the tank off and we'll check it, make sure that it's clean inside, and see what we're going to have to do there. I hear something in it. Yeah, this is all, you know, the throttle right now would be wide open because it's pulled apart from the center adjuster here. So it's, oh, this is not the cable or throttle. This is the compression release, and it probably needs to come out and go away. It's the cable is really damaged, and you just don't need them. It's kind of a gee whiz thing unless you're racing. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I think I've probably got a plug. I can just put a plug in it, and let's go around the other side here and see what's going on. Yeah, you see this is the throttle, and it's all bound up here, primarily I think because the tachometer is all loose, and the headlight's been whacked this way, and this cable is stuck in. Oh, there it came out. All right, that's what we needed anyway. And it's kind of stuck in between all these others. So we'll have to look and see if that's even functional anymore. But all this cabling, as you know, goes underneath and in about this position. But probably the first thing we need to do is to see if we've got spark and check the tank to see what's going on with that. All right, let's see it. I don't know, that smells pretty bad. Oh, what is that? It's like premix maybe. Well, the good thing is with all the oil in there, it probably kept the tank from rusting. I couldn't see much on top, but I haven't looked down inside yet. So that may have been a good thing. There's a lot of crowd in it though. I just cleaned all this out before I dumped it, cleaned the pan out. And there's a lot of debris in there. I'm not sure whether it's rust or rubber. It almost looks like rubber. Maybe it's from the cap. Yeah, probably some of that in there, but that's not the major culprit. We'll just have to see what's going on. But that looks pretty nasty. The tank doesn't look too bad right on top, but there is some stuff in there. There is rust. That is rust. So I know you're not going to be able to see down inside, but I will get a light and look for myself. All right, let's take a look here. See if we've got any spark. That was stuck in there pretty good. All right, turn the key on. Of course, I can't see it. Let's see here. I think I'm going to have to get up on it. Keys on. I see it. Okay, so I see a spark. I hope you do. All right, now you're a little closer. Just in case you couldn't see it, I'll crank it over again. So hopefully you can, that showed up. All right, let's go ahead and see if it'll fire. Put a little 2-stroke premix in it. I got the piston up on top dead center, I think. So if we got fire, we got gas, and it's at the right time, and we got compression, it ought to fire. Let's see what it does. I think I'm going to have to lower it down so that I'm kind of running into the garage door up there. Let me get it down. Yeah, let's try it again here. Okay, that's promising. I don't want to do too much with the throttle the way it is because it's not really functioning. I don't know whether it's open or closed. I think that's our next stop. We're going to take a look at the carburetor. All right, let me get some tools and we'll pull that puppy off. It's just kind of best on these to get this tank out of the way so you can get the air cleaner, or get to the air cleaner. These are supposed to have a lanyard, I think. I can't remember for sure if this is the one that has it. Something to keep it from falling. Nope, it don't. The lanyard is missing. The lanyard would be right here. So we're just going to have to wire it up somehow. Let me get a piece of wire. The fuel really is smelly. Let's go in to the air cleaner here, see how many mice nests. Wow, I'm impressed. Nothing in there but an air cleaner. Imagine that. That doesn't happen this often. All right. The boot is just hard as a rock. So I'm going to have to remove the air box and probably the muffler to try to get it off. Sometimes you can heat those in warm water, but that one is just really hard, and they're hard to find. So we don't want to mess it up if we can help it. A few more tools. The muffler bolt broke loose here. Kind of a long one. Alright, I believe it is. And all it should be holding it is the spring up front. Okay, so that's off of there. See how hard it is? It doesn't look like it has a clamp on the carburetor right here. I'm not seeing a clamp there. So hopefully I can, yep, just push it off. All right. But it's not pliable any way, shape, or form. And probably gonna have to get the carburetor off to get that out of there. Maybe it's that fuel filter. Yeah, just needs a little bit. Guess I'm gonna have to get this cap off. All right. See, the slide is stuck. Oh, there we go. Slide's stuck in the carburetor. So it won't come up. All right, let me see if I can find a little brass rod. I think the first thing I'm going to do is try to get a little Kroll oil down around it here. And just with a brass welding rod, let me see if I can get in there and lift up on it a little bit. Oh, there it goes. All right. There it is. Yeah, it's just probably from setting. Had a lot of gook on it. All right. Of course, yet need another tool. I do kind of get my exercise every day, going and getting stuff. Usually tools. If we can get a good supply of fuel, I think it'll run, because it did fire. Oh boy, somebody glued the O-ring on. I hope I got one. That one's pretty flat. I'm gonna have to get that glue off there. All right, we'll get her cleaned up a bit on the outside, get it up on the bench, and we'll go through it, see what we got. Clean off the outside of it here a little bit. Need quite a bit more. That's some really sticky stuff, and it's been on there a long time, but we'll send it through the ultrasonic cleaner. That'll take care of most of it. But for now, we'll get it apart and see what we look like. Let's see what we got here, see if we can get this thing apart. The last one I took apart on the choke, it was stuck. This one looks like it's going to be stuck too. Oh, I hate that. You just don't know whether you... Oh, there it comes. Yeah. That fuel, especially if it's got oil in it, it really does want to stick. My goodness. I don't know whether to take that off or not. I don't think it's going to come off. I'm going to cut it off. Let's see here. Man, there she comes. Won't be going back on. All right. See if all the rest of it will come apart. Oh, we finally got a break in the weather around here. It's a nice cool 70 something today. Still a little smoky. But at least you don't have the heat to deal with. When you come out in the shop and it's 95 degrees in the shop, because it won't cool off overnight, and all you're doing is turning fans on, blowing 95 degree weather around, or temperature around, it's just not very conducive to good motorcycle repair. Yeah, not good, dude. Let's see if I can get a little more light here. Might help, huh? Yeah. I think I've got some of those. Kind of scared looking here, guys. I just noticed too that I guess when I pulled that hose off, yep, it pulled the piece out of the, it looks like it's cracked a little bit. Well, maybe that's an area I can probably use some epoxy. I'm just afraid to get into some of these carburetors sometimes. They've been setting so long and got so much varnish and pretty much almost like glue in them. That's what happens when they sit there and soak with water for so long. Actually, this one doesn't look too bad. Whether it's stuck in there pretty good. I think I got some, so we'll have to put that in. Now the thing that scares me, well, they come right loose. I just always worry about these pilot screws, pilot jets. They don't come out. Not too bad. Okay, let me get it soaking, and then we'll go from there. Okay, the float, the adhesive, has all delaminated here. So I've cleaned all that off, and we're going to put some epoxy on it just to make sure that it doesn't seep into the floats. Some of these floats are permeable by gasoline, some of them aren't, so I don't know which one's which. So we'll just play it safe, and I don't think they would come off, but I don't know. But anyhow, this should keep everything as it is, or as it should be. And I'm just mixing up a little JB Weld quick. And then you can tell when it's delaminated. Some of it was falling off already, so the rest of it just came right off with the little scalpel there. You don't want to daub it up too much because you add weight to it and then it's not going to want to float right. And we shouldn't be adding any at all, I wouldn't think. I've done this many times, never had any trouble with them. Just try to get it everywhere that it was previously. It's pretty much all the way around it. And then once you get it on there, then you can kind of wipe up the excess that you may have. Before it dries. All right, so we'll just let that set until it cures, about 5 minutes. And we won't put fuel in it, probably for till tomorrow. But I'm sure it would be okay within just an hour or so. All right, let's get this thing put together a little bit. Remember, all this stuff doesn't have to be super tight. Just, it's not going to go anywhere. It just makes me feel better to put a little bit of lubricant on them, on all the threads. It'll wash out as soon as you get fuel in there, but it keeps things from galding in the process. This was one of those black carburetors. 72 and 73, they painted them all black. And of course, as soon as the fuel got on them, they no longer were black. I'm going to give that one turn and see how that works for it. Get our new O-ring on here. All right, and I've got to wait a little bit of time on my epoxy to dry there. So I'll wait on that and then we'll finish it up. One thing I need to show you is evidently they were having trouble with this slide sticking. I see a lot of sanding marks on them, and some of them are not very small. Looks like they've really been worked over with maybe even a file. I wonder what caused that so much, because it actually, let me move that before I fall, or before it falls out, because actually I just stuck it in there and it felt like it was operating all right. Yeah, nice and smooth there. And I see them once in a while that are pretty well worked over. I'm not sure. Usually I think it's because they get so much dirt in them. But this one's working okay now, so I don't think I'm going to fool with it. Yeah, we'll get this back on and see if we can get it to run a little bit on an IV. Okay, get the pipe put back on. Oh, that's a long-winded old bolt there. All right, finally. Just need that up to mount this back up. Okay. Maybe we'll see if it'll run on its own now. Let me get it down. Well, let's see what we can do. I've got a bad feeling it's got a rod out. Sounds like it's got a rod knocking or a very, very loose piston. I think it's piston. It's either real loose or there's something broken there. Doesn't sound real good, but it does run. I don't think I'd want to be wanting to get anywhere though in it, because I've got a sneaking suspicion it probably isn't going to make it wherever it's going. But I guess that's our next step, is to look and see. Seems like I can feel a lot of play right there. And one thing I noticed too when I pulled this apart, that there's a lot of oil right in there. And that's what I think was coming out of the case here that's dripping out. I thought it was coming from the chain, but really there's no, I mean it's got a lot of lube on it, but it's not that. And I think if I use it, it's just, there's a lot of oil, like that seal is out. But however, it started pretty good. A lot of play in that bearing. So there's something here, and it goes all the way to, we're radiating up, so I would imagine that the piston's pretty loose too. Okay guys, there you got it. 73 Yamaha 175 doesn't sound too good. It's I can feel a lot of play in that main bearing just behind the flywheel, and there was oil running out of there, which makes me think that that seal has probably seen better days. It did take a few kicks to get it going. That's kind of a good sign that the seals aren't real tight, but it did pick it up. It did run. It's smoking, so we know because let's see, yeah, I did. I've got pre-mix in it, and the oil pump looks like it's working. I pulled the cover off there, and it looks like it's doing what it's supposed to do. So, you know, besides tires and tubes and stoplight switch and some tachometer, I think the rubbers, the hardware that attaches that, and a few other little odds and ends, I'm just afraid it's probably going to need a major overhaul, really. The crank's going to need rebuilt, and I'm not sure about the crank, but that main bearing's bad. And what I'll probably do is go ahead and drain the transmission fluid now, or oil, and make sure there's no big chunks or anything coming out of that, and we'll just go from there. I'll give him a call and see what he wants to do. So okay, thanks for going along on the ride, and we'll see you next video.